What is up, y'all? This is Rainbow Fire, the unicorn, nose of the last unicorn. I'm going to talk about this right now because of PBS Kids is shutting down. As you might have known, PBS Kids, the broadcasting station that used to broadcast over the internet, the antenna broadcast, over the airwaves, is shutting down due to, I don't know if it's money, I don't know if it's something like they're not making any money anymore. They're probably not doing anything. They're not surviving because of all these. Anyway, anyway, as you may know, PBS Kids is shutting down. They already mentioned it. I'm not gonna get into the politics crap because it's really sad to see this go. Because I'm gonna admit this. I'm basically a '90s kid. I grew up. I grew up in the '90s and the late 2000s when I was in middle school, and when I started going to high. I'm basically a millennial. I grew up with PBS Kids. I grew up watching every show. And it's really sad to see this go because I grew up in a time when it was great. It was beautiful. Sorry. Basically, what I'm trying to say is it was a great time to be a kid. And I didn't mean to say it like that, guys. It's a great time to be a kid. And that's the thing. When you grew up at a time when cartoons were your childhood, you miss them days of being a kid and watching these beloved cartoons, and now that they're shutting down, it's sad. So I'm gonna give you some memories of PBS Kids I grew up with. It's really a shame that this show is shutting down. This broadcast is shutting down. And the reason it is, I think it's shutting down, is because they can't top notch Coco Melon or YouTube or whatever, and all this brain rot content that all these kids are getting nowadays. And I'm not saying Coco Melon's brain rot, but I think it is. That's my judgment. That's my opinion. All right. I still think that PBS Kids should stay around for decades because honestly, we learned a lot on PBS Kids. I still watch some of the shows to this day. I'll regret it. Uh, I'll go back and watch Arthur from the beginning, from the first episode of Arthur to all the way to the end of the episodes of Arthur, to the last season of Arthur. I started watching those shows again, and I enjoy them. Heck, I even watched a couple episodes of Clifford the Big Red Dog, and that was a great ass show. That show came out when I was in middle school. Clifford the Big Red Dog. They came out when I was in middle school, and I actually liked that show. It. I remember turning on. I remember turning on the antenna TV because I used to have this old mini box TV in the basement. And I remember I used to turn the antenna TV broadcast on, and sometimes Barney and Friends will come on. Sometimes, well, I wouldn't watch that. I would wait until that's over. Back when I was little, I used to watch that show because basically I was a millennial, so I grew up watching Sesame Street, all that kind of stuff. And yes, Sesame Street was my go-to show when I was really little. I don't watch it anymore. I always see clips because I'm curious how they do the puppets because I like puppeteering. It's one of my favorite things. Fascinating with is puppeteering. Um, but again, we all grew up watching PBS Kids, and we all love these. We have memories, fond memories of just going downstairs, mess with the freaking bunny ears on the antenna TV, trying to get the static to look better, and then we just watch a cartoon. It was basically public broadcasting. You could just watch whatever. You could watch it. It was a great time to be a kid back in the '90s and the early 2000s. PBS Kids came out, I think, in the '70s when it wasn't that big. There wasn't that many good shows. PBS Kids started to thrive right in the '90s and the 2000s. PBS Kids started thriving. Like Thomas the Tank Engine, uh, Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers, oh my God, thank God for him. Mr. Rogers. If it was for him, we wouldn't have had great people like him. Rest in peace, Mr. Rogers. Rest in peace, man. But yeah, like I said, it's just sad to see people. All these cartoons are gonna be forgotten. They're not gonna be forgotten. If you have VHS tapes of these cartoons recorded, please keep those because you need to archive the history of cartoons. It's not just PBS Kids. It's Nickelodeon. It's Cartoon Network. Any of these broadcast stations could shut down any moment. You don't know. The reason Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon and Disney Channel are still thriving to this day because they have sponsors. They're always putting ads, and that's how they make money. PBS Kids was a funded foundation where they would call and you donate money to help them. It's just sad that they're leaving, and it's just sad they're gonna be gone. I I grew up. I just remember turning on that my tiny TV I had in my clubhouse because I had a clubhouse in the basement years ago when I was young, and I remember turning on the antenna TV, watching PBS Kids like Arthur and stuff, because I remember exactly when Arthur came on. I don't know if it was like 5 o'clock when I got home. I watched Arthur, and and right around I think it was 7 o'clock in the morning, Arthur would come on my channel. And I remember I used to watch the episodes. I watched every episode of Arthur. Once once PBS Kids, once I stopped watching this channel, I used to watch Arthur on my phone. Like I just watched episode after episode after episode after episode of Arthur, and I was hooked. That's because I wanted to relive my childhood and just watch Arthur. It was a great show. It was. It was a great show. It's just sad that PBS Kids is shutting down. It is a really sad thing because Bill Nye the Science Guy, he was on there. He's kind of upset about it because kids were learning things how to. Bill mentioned this. Bill the Nye the Science Guy mentioned this because I watched the video news on this. Bill the Science Guy mentioned that thanks to PBS Kids, people were learning English. They were coming from different countries. They learned English because of PBS Kids. But the reason I think PBS Kids is dying is because they can't keep up with the companies. It's just sad, guys. It is very sad that PBS Kids is going to go. And do you think it's going to come back? Probably not. If the funding is not there, they're not going to be able to support all these cartoons and all that kind of stuff. It's really sad. Honestly, it's one of my favorite shows of all time. But yeah, like I said, Clifford the Big Red Dog, Cat in the Hat. Well, I didn't watch Cat in the Hat. That was like later on. But yeah, Clifford the Big Red Dog. I remember watching episodes of that. I remember watching Arthur a lot. Um, and you got to think, I was a millennial, so I grew up with PBS Kids. So basically, Barney was something that I watched when I was younger. Barney and Friends was basically a show that I watched when I was young. Sesame Street, loved that show when I was little. And I'm actually into puppeteering. I'm always into puppeteering, if I mentioned that. But yeah, basically, my favorite character actually in Sesame Street was actually Oscar the Grouch. Scram! Get out of my trash! Oh, God. Good old Oscar. And then his pet worm. I don't remember his worm. Does anybody know who Oscar's worm was? His pet worm? What was his name? I don't know if it was slimy or trashy. I don't know what it was. Just let me know in the comments. But like I said, it's just sad to see. Like I had some memories of PBS Kids, and it's really sad that this is gone. But it's the end of an era, as you may have known, and hopefully that some of these people will archive these cartoons. Like honestly, if you have any recordings of PBS Kids commercials, like doing the do 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 PBS Kids. Remember that? Remember that? Remember that? Because you remember the face and they smile and the laughter. PBS kids, crazy. It's just sad that this is happening, guys. It's gone, and I'm pretty sure Mr. Rogers in heaven's probably sad to see this go. It's PBS Kids put a lot of good memories on everyone. Like even one. I remember one TV show I used to watch, like on PBS Kids, was Between the Lines. It was about these puppeteer lions reading a book. Oh yes, thank you. I forgot to bring that up. Sorry guys, that's scary guys. Wishbone, Wishbone, the dog, Wishbone. Have you heard of Wishbone coming to get a book? Oh man, jeez, man. Good PBS Kids was the go-to man when you were young, if you didn't have cable, and it's just sad, man. It's sad. It really is. I mean, I'm already getting nostalgic just thinking about PBS Kids, guys. It's hit me hard because it's just you gotta think we grew up with this kind of stuff. Yes, we had cable television back in the day. We had the big ass cable box. We had all the channels, but there was some times I didn't have cable television in my bedroom, and I just put an antenna TV in my bedroom or my clubhouse. I built this clubhouse. I put a TV in it, and it had a big antenna running outside out of my clubhouse into like I ran this big giant CB boat antenna to run antenna broadcasts. I would watch the Orioles game, but sometimes I would turn on PBS and watch uh broadcasts and stuff like documentaries and stuff, but like Antique Roadshow. Oh no, Antique Roadshow is gonna go off too, man. That was, that was a good show, man. And then you had the guy that painted the art where he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna paint this tree. Let's make this tree look pretty. Oh, let's paint some branches on it." Remember that? Oh, jeez. Even that guy's gonna be gone, man. Uh, sorry to get nostalgic, guys. It's just sad, man. It's not just PBS Kids. It's all the other PBS broadcast stations. And I don't know if it's ever gonna come back, guys. It's probably never gonna come back. Probably not. Like I said, PBS Kids was one of those shows that we all cherished in our childhood. And lots of crazy stuff's happened in the world today. The internet's changing, as you may have known in my other videos. The internet's changing. Kids just don't want to watch TV anymore. They just want to watch YouTube and TikTok and all that crap and brain rot content like Skippy Toilet and Cocomelon. Nobody doesn't want to watch PBS Kids anymore. Or it is sad. I just I just wish PBS Kids would basically go with the times, try to make their shows more entertaining to kids nowadays. It's like this generation. But it's really sad. But you just gotta let it go of the past, guys. That's the best thing about us millennials and Gen Zers and yes, even freaking Disney adults, because most of them are millennials. Um, you gotta let go of the past. It's just you gotta let things go. You have to live on and move on. Most of these, like one episode of Arthur taught some really. I'm gonna mention Arthur a lot, okay? Because Arthur was my favorite show, and I still love it to this day. Arthur taught me a lot about how to be friends with people, how to be yourself, how to be a good person, how to not make fun of people when Arthur did that thing, how to do things in life, how to be a better person in life. Arthur taught me that, but anyway, I'm running out of time. But basically, I'm just saying, PBS Kids was a great show. It taught me a lot. I thank you, PBS Kids, for bringing all these cool cartoons. We will miss you, and if you can maybe come back, well, if not, it is what it is. PBS Kids, rest in peace, or maybe come back. But yeah, this is Rainbow Fire, the unicorn that was the last unicorn. Peace out. Peace.